What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. Today we are out at the range. It is a beautiful Saturday. It is a little bit windy, so I do apologize for that. But today we're going to be checking out the best upgrade that I've made to my Glock 19X thus far. Now, some of you guys may have seen this upgrade on my Instagram or Facebook if you follow me on those pages. If not, be sure to do so. But the best upgrade that I've made to this gun so far is going to be that Elite Series trigger from Tactical Pontoon. Now, this trigger setup is absolutely ridiculous, and trust me when I say this, I own quite a few Glock triggers, multiple agency triggers, multiple Overwatch precision triggers, IDP tactical. I've had some Zev triggers, Apex triggers, Polymer 80 triggers. I know there's more, I can't think of them all right now, but trust me when I say this is one of the best Glock triggers that I have personally ever felt. Now, I'm saying one of the best because I do have some nice trigger setups, and everything is going to come into play from the trigger shoe to the bar to the connector to the springs. It really just depends on what you're going for, but what I really like about this specific trigger setup is the fact that it is a flat face trigger. It is not super duper light, and I'll go ahead and show you guys. I didn't bring the scale out here with me. I meant to bring my trigger gauge, but what's really nice about this, I love the flat face shoe, and it's already at that wall. There is no creep, no take up. We are at that wall, but it is a little bit of a heavier break. Now, I don't mean heavy as in like 5 or 6 pounds, absolutely not. Just for an aftermarket Glock trigger, this is probably right around 3 to 3.5, and I will go ahead and throw it on the scale when I get home, or the trigger gauge, and I will leave it right at the bottom of the screen exactly what this is pulling, but it is just a little bit heavier than some of my other Glock triggers, which I like that. I wanted this gun to be a setup that was pretty much all business, and I do have quite a few other Glocks that are set up to be like, they're just range toys at the end of the day. I do not do anything with them besides shoot them at the range. So I wanted a trigger in this gun that was going to be a little bit heavier. Now, let's go ahead and see the trigger pull. So as I showed you guys, there's literally no take up whatsoever. And we'll go for the pull. And super clean, crisp break. And here's the reset. I mean, it is just absolutely ridiculous, but what I was pretty much trying to get at is this trigger's not so light that you're going to accidentally pull the trigger. It's not so light that it's like a hairpin 1911 trigger. This trigger is an awesome upgrade, very smooth, super nice shoe, but it still is an all business type trigger, more of a combat type trigger. Now let's go ahead and put some rounds down range, and I have shot this a little bit already. I didn't bring the camera out when I did that. I was very anxious just to get out here and try this trigger because dry firing at home, I can pretty much tell if I'm gonna like a trigger or not and how nice it is. Until you get out and actually shoot that trigger live fire, you really won't know. Now let's go ahead and throw some rounds down range. Super crisp, super smooth. Riding that reset, there's so many things about this trigger that I really love. And really, what Tactical Pontoon does, he basically perfects these triggers. And the two big companies that he works with are going to be Apex and then Ranger Proof Swag. And personally, I'm just not the biggest fan of the Apex triggers. I think they sit just a little bit too far forward on their Glock trigger shoes. But their M&P 2.0 trigger, that thing is absolutely money. One of the nicest striker fired triggers I've ever felt. But when it comes to a Glock trigger, this one here is definitely taking the cake. Now, I know I'm going to be getting questions about this. This trigger is available for Gen 5s as well as the 19X, obviously. He does have some other options for Gen 3 and Gen 4 Glocks as well as the Apex lineup. And this trigger setup here, the Elite Series trigger, I believe he calls it the Elite Trigger System. This is going to come with a new trigger bar, housing, everything ready to drop in. And honestly, that is the best way to do it. That way, he has perfected everything. He knows which parts work best with which exact trigger. So I leave that up to him, and he has yet to disappoint me. Now, let's go ahead and throw a few more rounds down range. And this is something else I wanted to show you guys. These are some of the new OD Green Gen 5 Glock mags. They have the orange follower. These came from the Mag Shack. Be sure to check them out. Use code GlockGuy226 to save some money. But what I found out about these OD Green mags is they do not work in the Glock 19X. And here you can see they do work. Well, what I had to do was get a Dremel and sand off a little bit of that base pad. I don't know if you guys will be able to tell, but I did take off a little bit of material, so it will work with my 19X. I just thought that was kind of stupid of Glock. It's like, why would you release a magazine if it can't work with all of your guns? And that's like a big thing with Glock, is all of the mags are interchangeable. So that is something I thought was kind of silly, but if you take a little bit of time in a Dremel, you can get these mags to run just fine. And I've really been happy with this whole setup in general, from the compensator to the barrel to the trigger. But at the same time, I'm just really torn between getting some slide work done, getting an RMR or a delta point cut for this gun, and getting it stippled. I don't know, when I bought the 19X, I really wanted to leave it alone. That was the plan. But as time goes on, I'm really thinking that we're gonna start doing some stuff to the 19X. Now, if you guys have any further questions on the Tactical Pontoon Elite Series trigger setup, be sure to leave it down in the comment section below, and I will go ahead and post a link. It'll be the first link in the video description to take you guys over to my gun streamer page. We are only like 40 subscribers away from being the #2 channel over there, so please go over there, subscribe to the channel, and I will have all the links and discount codes that I can no longer put here on YouTube over on my gun streamer page, so be sure to click that first link down in the video description. I also want to give James over at Tactical Pontoon a huge thank you for sending out this trigger and for creating an awesome page on his website to give you guys a discount on these triggers. But that's going to wrap it up. If you guys have any further questions on the Glock 19X or anything in general, be sure to leave it down in the comment section below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one.